Are you there?
Are you?
Are you? Are you blurry? Are you blurry?
I'm not. I'm not.
Are you?
I'm not blurry.
You're
You're too blurry.
I'm blurry. Oh, wait.
You're blurry.
Blur.
Can you hear me?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy. It's PLD.
Welcome to Class Action. I'm Richard Jarvi, and you're watching the classiest show on the interwebs. And yes, we are, Paul. Don't you say we aren't classy. We are the classiest.
I do like how I think I got you going with my burst of energy. You had to switch your line around a little bit. I like how you did that. Instead of saying, like, I'm Richard Jarvi, this is Class Action, you're like panicked and went, oh my God, I got to say my line. This is Class Action.
Didn't take it this time.
I didn't take it this time. Well, we're in a weird mood. I'm like, what do you want to say?
We feel blurry today.
We do feel a little blurry. It's almost like I drank a lot or something, but no, it's not. It's like 7 a.m. here, and I just got home from work, so I'm feeling pretty damn tired. But you know what? It's Mission Impossible, so I'm going to get up in a hurry. Let's put it that way. So what do we do here on Class Action, Jarvi? You want to talk about it for once, or you want me to do it?
No, you should probably take it away. Because I'm feeling too blurry.
I'm going to try to see if I can just throw you under the bus there, like you make you scared.
I like mini panic for a second there.
I gotcha. I get it. All right. Anyway, on Class Action, what we do, we take two options. Option A, option B. Could be films, could be actors, could be directors, could be franchises, could be almost anything. We want to put them up against each other and 5 custom-made categories. And at the end of the day, we see which one comes out on top. And it's unfortunately usually not the one we think it might be. That's what we've learned very recently, that the custom-made categories can make a world of difference in changing your mind and finding out which one is which. Are you, can I hear you? I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Am I blurry again?
That wasn't even a joke. That was actually a bit that we worked out.
Well, you can hear me now.
I can hear you now. So good.
All right. Good.
Wow, so classy. So classy.
I was thinking about how we're deciding which movie is better. And then I came to think of it. We're actually deciding which movie has the better parts.
Right.
So, because usually we used to have categories that were like overall story or overall something, but this time, lately we've just been doing, we're analyzing the details and the bits and pieces of the movie, and we're deciding on these, which of course should make it as a whole, but sometimes it doesn't. But I kind of like the fact that we're approaching this on a, detailed kind of way.
I find
putting the parts together.
Yeah, that's right. I find we're like actually still. This is our 34th episode, by the way. 34 episodes. So I feel we're still kind of feeling our way on some of it, and I'm actually finding that one of the things that is key about the category versus the whole usually ends up being rewatchability. And that came to me when we did Tron versus Ready Player One, I think it was.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Because we got to the end of it, Tron was ultimately like swept through a lot of it, like was really powerfully into it. But at the same time, at the end, we're kind of like, yeah, but we still put a Ready Player. We would still put Ready Player One on first if we were going to watch it or something. And I think it's because like that one, for whatever reason, has the overall rewatchability for us, at least anyway. And so that has a lot to do with it. I'm wondering somehow we might have to put rewatchability in there somehow.
We've actually had that on there for some battles. I remember we've had rewatchability. Yeah,
I almost feel like we should maybe go back to that, but not this week because we didn't prepare for it. But but this is actually an interesting week for us too, because we decided kind of we put together choices, and then we decided to expand on those choices. So we actually got a couple of weeks of content, and since we are on the Action Industries YouTube channel, home of Ben Bateman and Andrew Guy, who we always give a salute to for letting us have his little slice on the interwebs. We of course worship at the altar of TC legend Tom Cruise, and his probably best franchise, I would say, would be the Mission Impossible franchise.
For sure.
So we went to whatever we thought about initially. I put forth the 2 movies. I put forth Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. And I thought these were the best 2 to go at it for a couple of reasons. First off being that whenever I rank these movies, like the whole franchise, these 2 I always flipped back and forth on. Mm-hmm. It almost was like whichever one I watched more recently, I would put on top. Like if I watch Rogue Nation, then the Rogue Nation, I like better Rogue Nation better than Ghost Protocol. But then I'd watch Ghost Protocol and go, I actually like Ghost Protocol better. And I did that many times. So it's like, you know what? Let's put them to the test. But then Jarvi had a great idea to push off of that. with the turn.
Oh yeah, sorry. I
had to remind you.
I was like, I was waiting for you. Yeah, because we're talking about Cruise and we're talking Mission Impossible. We love those movies, and since we're doing Ghost Protocol versus Rogue Nation, like I couldn't shake the feeling that we should talk about Fallout. Like, why are we leaving out Fallout? Why are we doing these two? So I figured, why not just decide which is the best movie of the Mission Impossible franchise? But I gotta preface this: we will not be including Mission Impossible 1 and 2 because, and we just talked about it before. They're
lesser movies.
The first two, they are like, the first one is kind of probably like the more critical choice of the lot, and
It's
2
fine.
is the trashiest movie pretty much you could ever find. But they've got no chance of going up against 3, 4, and 5 and 6.
3 through 6 definitely.
6.
3 through 6 definitely stepped the game up and made it a much better franchise. 1 is fine. It's a fine movie. It's a 90s action film, but it didn't come over. 2 is fun. It's a lot of fun, but not for any of the right reasons, really. I mean,
2 has a very important part in film history. Mission Impossible 2 is the reason that we have Wolverine as the way he is.
that is true. Thank you to Grace Scott for taking up Mission Impossible 2 instead. We also have the great flip kick shots from John Woo and Doug Riggs and the Kamara.
Anthony Hopkins.
And Anthony Hopkins, which we almost forget he's in the franchise. You know, he's like, he was actually in Mission Impossible franchise. Not talked about again. And also Tandy Newton as well. They're just totally forgotten. But that's okay. But here we are. We're saying we're not talking about them. Here we are talking about them. So let's forget about them. They're lesser movies. So
anyway,
move on. That's all right. We want to move on. We want to do 4 through 5 today. Next week, we're going to announce it right now. We're going to do Mission Impossible 3 versus Mission Impossible Fallout. And then the week after that, we will put up the 2 winners. So either Ghost Protocol or Rogue Nation we'll take on the winner of 3 and Fallout. So I'm interested to see what we come up with. Should be very interesting indeed, because I have a list in my head how I usually rank it. I'm very interested to see if that gets changed, right?
That can totally surprise us. But like either of these 4 movies could take the top spot, I have a feeling.
It's true. It is very true. But either way, let's get into this week's battle.
Let's do it.
Before we do that, of course, we have a couple games we like to play. Of course, one of the big games I play, I forget to put the underlay back on. So classy we are. The game I like to play is what would Ed Harris play? Ed Harris is my boy, as everybody knows by now. It's actually
where's this picture?
You want to put up? Which one do I put up? Let me see.
I want to put up Westworld.
Westworld? All right,
I started watching Westworld again.
That one?
That's good. I'm like midway into the first season, and I'm loving it.
Oh, he is so good in that first season. So good. But anyway, everybody knows that. It's just because we're running bit. Usually I say Ed Harris for everything, and people tell me to shut up now, but it's okay. I still love him.
I don't.
Sorry, you don't, because you love him as much as I do, almost. Well,
pretty much. Yeah, I'm close.
So we're going to decide where would Ed Harris be, because he makes everything better. He always never mails it a performance, and he makes a good movie better. He makes a bad movie passable. So we actually recast him in these roles, or write a new role for him. And I got to, these were pretty easy for me this week, I find. I don't know about you. Did you? What did you think about this week's?
I started off with an idea and I completely changed it. And now I've gone all into this crazy idea that I've put Ed Harris as.
All right. I love it. I love
not sure. It'll either be the greatest Ed Harris bit I've done, or you could totally crash and burn. Like,
that's my favorite idea, though. That's what I want to hear. I want to see those kind of legendary, like, shoot for the star kind of things. It makes me really get behind this game even further. So without further ado, hit me up. What about Ghost Protocol?
All right, so Ghost Protocol. Well, since these 2 movies are connected in a way, my Ed Harris is for both movies. He will be appearing in both movies as the same character. So first off, I'll just say what my thought process was. I wanted to recast him as the villain in Ghost Protocol because he is kind of forgettable at times. So I figured, why not have Ed Harris as this, authoritative villain in this one? But then I got to thinking, I would have Ed Harris as Agent Brandt. I would have him in the car with Tom Wilkinson. He seems like he's, this older analyst, and but when they start to go on their adventure, similar to when Renner was Brandt, he starts to show that he can kick ass. He knows his way around a gun. He knows how to fight. And we find out that he actually, like when we all have our secrets, Ethan, we find out that he's the very first original agent of the IMF and has trained all the agents, also the ones who trained crews, like Ethan Hunt. And when he finally gets to kick ass, he totally unarms and even gets the best of Ethan when they're going head to head.
Wow.
But we also find out that Tom Wilkinson was actually a cover for Ed Harris's character, who is in fact the leader and the director of the IMF force. He used Tom Wilkinson as a cover. He's actually the head of the dragon. And in Rogue Nation, okay, we got to switch to Rogue Nation now.
Okay.
He returns as Agent Brad. His name can be the same. I didn't think of a name. Should have thought of a cool name for him. But as the plot thickens, we go deeper. We go deeper. We understand that his name is actually Solomon Lane, and he has been running the syndicate to take over the IMF. All the years of service and not really getting things done, he has realized that as part of the government, the IMF cannot achieve the goals that it has to, and it has to be independent. It has to be an independent organization, hence the syndicate. So when the record shop mission happens, you see Ed Harris appear behind the girl and shoot him. So the first in Ghost Protocol, he's the hero. In Rogue Nation, he's flipped as the villain.
I'm not speechless very much. I don't even want to. I'm not playing. Like, I'm done. I'm not even going to play because I'm gonna have to step up my game for next week's.
Tom Cruise, if you're watching this, I got a plot for your next movie.
That's brilliant. I mean, I was very, very weak sauce for me. I was looking at the two bad guys. I thought like Nyquist was not a great bad guy. I was going to put him right in there. I thought about Sean Harris as Solomon Lane. I could see him do that there. I thought maybe he'd be Alec Baldwin. I ended up, I'll say what I did, but I mean, it's really I wish I went first.
I did all of them pretty much. That's what I did. I did Baldwin. I did Solomon Lane. I did Brand. I did all of them. That was what my thought process was, and it just started going from there.
I mean, I did end up going with Alec Baldwin's character and for Rogue Nation because that's a cool thing. What I went with in Ghost Protocol is a little different, only because I thought it'd be fun. I thought it'd be fun to see him play the role of the Russian agent, Sidorov, the guy who's chasing down Hunt after the Kremlin explosion.
Right. Yeah. No, he's a really cool character.
Really cool, kind of fun character you play. I almost like Ed Harris as like Tommy Lee Jones, the fugitive, almost in a way. Good age and everything else. I could see him doing that, of being very directly. He'd probably be a little more tense than Sidorov was. But that was my guess on that. I think it'd be kind of a cool thing. I wanted to not put him as Nyquist because I thought that was too easy. But man, I just said it really quickly because I want to be done with this because I can't. Yours kicks ass, and I want to see. I want to see that. I want to see Mission Impossible redone. Ed Harris in that role. I'm not gonna ask the chat. I love you, chat, but fuck the chat. That you win. Hands down.
Fuck the chat. I
shouldn't say that.
We can't say fuck the guest this week. We can't say fuck the guest.
That's right. He's actually in our chat. He's probably in our chat right now. But we'll find out. Well, I actually do have a guest this week for our next segment, the segment that we call Public Defender. And Jerry, why don't you tell us all about that? Because I know you love telling us about that.
Oh yes, the Public Defender. You asked what it is. Here it is. So pretty much when we started off this show, we wanted to make it something to tie into, the legal world, law drama, since we're called Class Action. And we wanted to do an off-the-cuff list. Now, why do we call it the Public Defender? Is because in movies, usually the Public Defender stereotypically is worn down. He's overworked, he's underpaid, he or she. They can be underprepared when they come to court. And they would have to come up with things on the spot, off the cuff. So me and Paul, we figured we want someone to give us the list that we have no preparation for and just shoot the shit while on air.
Usually look pretty dumb doing it. And
we usually end up being.
And the guests look brilliant because they have time to prepare. They know what they're doing. They give their list, and it's good. I will say the real reason why we call Public Defender is because we were reaching and looking for something to connect it to the law world. That's really it. That's really all it was. It doesn't mean, but that's what we did. But we do have a guest this week from the Action Army and Action Army General. Call sign
Swede.
A Swede. He's actually one of your boys. He's actually up, ready to go, because this is his time zone, not mine. We have call sign Daywanger. his name Filip Gustavsson. Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Hey.
What's up, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, thank
Are
you
you
so
blurry
much.
still?
Who
Is
are
it
we?
coming back?
You blurry?
Yeah.
You look blurry. No,
Just take
you're
it
good.
off, bring it back on. Now you're good. Okay, we're good now.
It's
Yeah,
not
man.
blurry.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, no, the Europeans outnumber the Americans today, and I like it.
Yeah.
Damn. I didn't
Never
even-
happens on this show.
didn't think about that. I don't know if I'm comfortable with this. All right, go ahead, man. What do you got for us this week?
Well, first of all, I just gotta say it's good to be on the show and not just like shouting at myself in the chat.
I don't know
And
how
also-
wrong we are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you usually are. And also props to Jarvi for that Ed Harris segment. It blew my mind,
man,
and I could
thanks.
see Paul getting more and more aroused as you were talking.
I definitely was. I'm not
It
gonna
was
lie.
on the verge of getting uncomfortable, but I think it worked. Okay, so I went pretty straightforward today since this is my first time on, and it would be fun to be allowed back. So I don't want to scare you off too much.
Interesting tactic. I like it.
Yeah,
Let's see how
so
it pays
like
off.
one of the first things that comes to mind when I think of Mission Impossible is that everything happens at the very last second, right? Like they stop the bomb, the like fake ID gets uploaded, the security system gets taken down, everything happens at the very last second. So I want you guys to give me your top 6 last second saves for movies. And it could be like the heroes pulls it off themselves, or it could be a like Deus Ex Machina type of situation where something comes in and saves the day. It's up to you, but top 6 last second saves.
I can tell Paul is struggling. Like,
I am
please,
totally
like,
struggling.
if you can, like, after the show, just go back and look at Paul's expression when he knows where you're going, and I knew as well, but you can see his face. He's panicking.
The funny thing is, the first one that comes to mind isn't a save. I'm going to use it anyway. It's a non-save, but I want to use it anyway because it just comes to mind. Fifth Element. When the bomb is going down, the bomb's counting down on the ship console, and Bruce Willis is with Leilu, and he comes up, and the bomb's counting down. You think Bruce Willis is going to say? You think he's going to say the days he's the hero? He's going to disarm her, and everything's going to be okay. And he looks at the bomb, and he goes, and I think Chris Tucker is like, "You not disarm that bomb?" And Bruce Willis looks at her like really intensely for a second, and goes. And the next thing he sees him like booking out, the explosion happens. But that doesn't count, I know. But I had to bring it up.
Oh yeah, well, it's not a save. True.
It's not a save. That's the worst part about it. It's not a save, so I can't count it. Oh man. Okay, go ahead, Jared. You have to go first on this one.
Last second save. Okay. Well, since I'm panicking as much as you, I pretty much just have a better poker face than you at this point. But
It was a good one, though.
okay, there is no countdown, but it's still a save. So I would. Okay, this is a safe one, and I'm sorry, but when Thor and not Groot, Jesus, Rocket show up in Infinity War.
Okay.
Break me, Thanos.
You say
Pretty much, he throws the Jesus. I'm blanking on everything. The axe name. Stormbreaker. Why am I blanking on everything? He pretty much they save the moment at that moment. So I would go with that as my first.
And the very next moment, it all goes to shit again. But you can have that one.
Yeah, that's true.
I got it.
All right, go.
I'm falling back in Ed Harris knowledge. That's really all it is. The Abyss. Ed Harris, he's going down. He finds the nuclear codes. He has the green wire, the yellow wire, but he's looking through this like night vision goggles. So it's like giving both of them. They look the same color. And he has to like go back. He goes to cut, and then he cuts. He's like, that was right. So that's one. I got one.
I remember that moment, but I believe you.
I could say anything from Ed Harris, but we'd be like, oh yeah, sure.
Okay, I've got one.
That's true. Go ahead.
In The Rock, when they shot out the rocket, Ed Harris, like when they want to bluff, they shoot out the rocket at the stadium, and at the last second they sort of cancel the launch, and they saved. Because Ed Harris, as General Hummel, is a hero, and no one can convince me otherwise.
Great. So I think we're incompetent. I'm going to go with The Rock also. But I'm going to go with the scene in The Rock where they're in the chemical.
Right.
And he's like, "You want me to stick this in my heart?
In my fucking heart."
And then the kid just get it clear. That's my second one. Another Ed Harris. We actually both went with The Rock. 2 saves in The Rock. Very good. So I got 2 now. So it's up to you, Jarvi. What else you got?
I don't think I have anything.
I have one.
Let me think. Oh yeah, I've got a great one. Thank God, James Bond to the rescue. Daniel Craig in Casino Royale, when his heart's stopping, he's in the car, he's flatlining. That is such an anxiety-inducing moment, because he's pressing the button. He's like, oh no, and he passes out. You're like, he's done, he's dead. No one's coming to save him. Then Vesperlin comes up, juices him. He's back. Day saved.
I was considering that one. It didn't make my list, but yeah, he presses the button, and then at the last second, as he passes out, he finds the wire, and like, oh shit.
No, it just goes. Yeah.
I actually came up with 2 more I can come up with, but I got one here. I'll use the one. Hopefully, I think it counts. The end of Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. The trench run. Vader, I have you now. Woohoo! And Han comes in, knocks everybody off, and then everything, and then Luke is clear to fire at the Death Star. I think that counts as the last second save because he's about to get destroyed, right? Absolutely. All right, I'll take it.
So you had to use Ed Harris in Star Wars to save the day.
They always do. They're always my best choices.
That was a great one. That was a great one.
You have 3, Jarvi?
I got 3 because I had Ed Harris in The Rock, I had James Bond, and I had
Infinity War.
Infinity War, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to admit, I thought about doing a different save. It wouldn't have been one save, but it was the constant saving of Indiana Jones's hat. I just reached the door. I used to do as a kid. My mom used to get so upset because I closed the garage door and roll under the garage door and totally risk my arm, and she'd be like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna kill you!" But I'd still do it. Every once in a while, I'd still do it when she wasn't around. I should probably not have an arm by now. So I love that too. But I didn't count as one save for me, so I didn't think that would. I didn't know if the judge here would allow that. So.
No, I would have liked it. I was looking for something outside of the box, but I couldn't really think of one. So mine are pretty straightforward, all of them. But yeah.
Go ahead.
Give us yours.
Okay, so my number 6 is Toy Story 3. When they're in the furnace incinerator,
they're going in,
going down, and at first they're struggling to get back up. They can't do it. So when they come closer, they just accept it. They know they're going to die. They grab hands and just wait for it, and then at the last second. The Claw.
I love that one.
Such an emotional movie.
Very emotional movie, yeah.
Totally.
That's the reason why I still haven't seen Toy Story 4, because Toy Story 3 is the perfect ending, and I can't bring myself to watch number 4.
I will not.
I will encourage you to watch it.
I will not go off on a tangent too much, but I will say I had the same feelings.
Yeah.
I saw Toy Story 4, and my outcome of that was that, yeah, it didn't need to be made, but damn, they did a good job of making it regardless.
Yeah, I want to watch it, but it's just I can't find the motivation to do it. But I'll get there.
You will.
I was blown away by the 4th one, so I would encourage you to watch it.
I'll get to it. Number 3 again, because I want to come back, and this is gonna be great because it's The Rock.
Yes.
And it's not either one of the ones you picked. Damn. So we have 3 different saves from The Rock.
That's why The Rock
Nick
is one
Cage
of the
on his knees, flares up.
Oh yeah, of course.
Great smoke.
It's such that picture alone of him on his knees with the jets flying over him. Perfect.
It's one of the best shots in the movie. I gotta admit.
You already dropped it. You're like, no. Well, he doesn't save the day, pretty much.
Well no, he does.
Oh, he does.
Enough, because it's supposed to pulls up
completely. They're supposed to completely obliterate the place, and they just drop one, and they kind of make it.
That's true.
And it gives them an excuse to say that Sean Connery's body was incinerated, so he could escape and move on.
Exactly.
So there you go. I
So
give it to you.
that's my number
Vaporize.
5.
Bodies can do that? Oh yeah, definitely. We're just gonna quote The Rock the rest of the day.
So we have 3 different saves
That's
from The
impressive.
Rock. That's really. I thought when both of you started talking, I figured you would take mine, but then neither one of you did. So at number 4, it almost felt like cheating because it's the subject of the episode, but I went Mission Impossible, and I went Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. The briefcase, the football at the end.
Yep.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
the whole sequence in the parking garage is great, and like that car that he crashes definitely should win some awards because he should not be alive. But it works great. And he crawls up to it and he gets to it with like, I don't know, 30-20 seconds to go. And the like perfect dot over the I, he goes, mission accomplished. Boom. And then it doesn't work because the rest of the team haven't done their part yet. So he keeps bashing the button while waiting. And then, of course, 1 second to go, it works. And Luther even like calls him out on it. And,
Yeah, you said it.
You said that? You actually said that? And he goes, yeah, I did.
I love that he called him out on it because it's so corny and ridiculous. But the fact that they acknowledge it at the end, like, it saves it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Number 3, Star Wars. Han Solo swoops in. Yeah.
There we go.
That's because like that's the original. I really actually like the one in The Last Jedi too, when it's the same thing. The Falcon comes in and you see the shadow on the ground.
Yeah.
And it works great. But I'm going original too. So like, yeah, Vader's about to blow him up, and then woohoo!
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing. Go.
Yeah, iconic.
Very iconic.
Avengers also, but I went Endgame. And you can go either I Am Iron Man. That's like the ultimate one. Like they've set it up since like the very first movie. Works great. I still think I'm going the Portals.
On your left, yeah.
On the left, also set up from way back, and like Captain America is just beat down. He knows he stands there. He's like, "Yep, I'm going to die, but I'm gonna go out fighting."
Tightens the shield.
Cap on your left, and I get chills just talking about it.
Yeah,
right now.
me too, dude. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Do you know what my new favorite thing about the portal scene is? Not actually the scene itself. Well, the scene, but the one that's recorded from the cinema.
I've seen
from the opening sequence when people are fucking screaming their heads up. I know some people hate when they can't focus on the movie, but as you like, we've all seen the movie, and when you're watching it like later with that with these screams and that emotion, you're like, wow, this is what Marvel does. This is how it should make us all feel.
Yeah, there's like moments of that throughout. There's a couple of different. Portals is one when Cap like lifts the hammer, gets the hammer.
Yeah,
really big one, you know.
Man, I want to watch that video.
And like the Swedish crowds are usually like not like loud or like in theaters.
Same here.
People
yeah,
sit there and maybe like laugh and maybe like go, oh, but they were legit like cheering during this.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, same thing in Estonia. People are very, very boring.
Yes, we can get that way. Hell yeah, that way for Force Awakens when Rey caught the lightsaber in Force Awakens. I was even then our audience was cheering at that.
Yeah,
so it happens a few times.
So my number 1, I wouldn't be me if I didn't have this at number 1.
I was thinking Lord of the Rings at some point, but go ahead, give it to me.
Okay, all right.
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, The Ride of the Rohirrim.
Yes.
They are losing bad. Like it's really bad. And at this point in the movie, even though it's been set up the whole movie, you have almost forgotten that Rohan is on their way, because like they've been out of the picture for like, I don't know, 20 minutes or something.
Yeah,
you haven't seen them, and things are just shit. Like, and it gets even better if you're watching the extended version, because then you get the Witch King Like
Yes.
he's about to kill Gandalf.
by
Gandalf
easel.
is about to die. Like he's on his knees, defenseless. The Witch King is over him, and then you hear that first horn. Yeah, and you're like, oh my god! And then the speech, and then the cinematography and the score. It's perfect.
It is pretty perfect. I can't deny that. That's a good list. That's a good list.
Was that the Theoden speech that came then?
Yeah,
There was a Theoden speech there, 1 and 2. I like the Theoden speech from Helm's Deep also. But,
yeah. It's now for wrath, now for ruin, and the world's end.
Yeah.
And then the death shouts. Yeah. Chills again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
Great ones.
All right, well, that's a great list. Thank you so much for coming up with it. You would definitely be asked back at some point because
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
For right now, we will be putting Filip back in the background. He's gonna stick around. If he does have anything he wants to, he's desperate to say during our little discussion, he'll come back on. And like we do now, if we actually come up with a tie, which has only happened once, I think, in our 34
Once
episodes.
or twice, yeah. I think once for sure.
Then we'll actually ask Filip back on to be a little bit of a tiebreaker. So
Yes, sir.
Let's see what happens. So I don't know if Filip's hoping for a tie, so we get to come back on and do it, but we're going to find out either way.
Give me the power. Come on.
All right, Filip, thank you so much, man.
Tack så mycket, Filip.
Thank you.
All right. Well, there we go with that. That was a fun one. That was definitely a fun one.
That was a great one.
I gotta tell you, I get more anxiety the more times we do that. Like every time somebody comes on, I'm always like, what the fuck are they gonna say? What the fuck are they saying?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
but somehow you pulled something.
Considering what I was really scared about, actually came up so good as I thought. I was pretty happy. I'm pretty happy about my choices. I'm sure back if I actually do some research and I'm like, oh man, I missed this. But that's all right.
I'm like legitimately sweating from my back because I was so nervous because of that. Like, I'm really hot here.
All right. Well, let's move on then. We have one more small segment to go before we go into the 5 categories.
Mm-hmm.
Snap judgment. Judgment. What is your snap judgment, Jarvi? Do you have one? Or do you have one to tell?
Yep, I got one. I'm going with Rogue Nation.
You only Rogue Nation?
I'm feeling Rogue Nation will take this. Yeah.
I do too. I do think it's going to be Rogue Nation. Even though I fight for Ghost Protocol a lot, I'm always the one who fights for it. I feel like I will say this. I feel like if you ask a lot of Mission Impossible fans or general action fans, that they would put Rogue Nation over Ghost Protocol.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might be one reason why I always fight for Ghost Protocol a lot because I really do like it so much. I'm a big fan of Brad Bird as a director.
Me too.
I want to see more from him. I really do. I am the sucker that loves Tomorrowland. Like I love his stuff. I mean, a lot of people hated that movie. I loved that movie. So
I think it was okay.
I hope we can find more for him because he's really great. This movie as well. So, all right. Without further ado, let's get into our 5 categories. Our 5 categories this week for Ghost Protocol versus Rogue Nation are as follows: 1, the better opening. Now, of course, we have Mission Impossible always has great openings. So there's like kind of cold openings where they have to introduce Tom Cruise as he's done that again, and we get to see what something cool he's doing this time. Number 2, we got the better crew. The crew that helps Ethan hunt out Tom Cruise throughout the mission of the film. They are similar, but they are definitely different. 3, better ultimate stunt. Now, this would be a fun one. Yeah. I will say we decided, I was wondering if we should come up with the same ultimate stunts and like that, but we actually feel we're going to go personal and say whatever the ultimate stunt is to us.
Exactly.
We'll go from there. Number 4, better villain. Number 5, which was a better mission? Which is a better overall like mission to watch?
Or the more, if there is such a word, the more impossible mission it can be. Because I even wanted to approach this as which has the tougher mission to do, but it can be better. It doesn't matter which way. I just figured which is the more impossible mission, for lack of a better word.
I like how you're pandering there to the title. I like that. Well, let's get right into it then. Better opening. For this one, I did clarify. I wanted to clarify. Obviously, Rogue Nation's opening was the airplane sequence. Mm-hmm. The Ghost Protocol opening, I'm going to slice off the very, very beginning when you see Josh Holloway.
Okay.
I'm talking more about the Tom Cruise moment in the prison. The prison breakout sequence. Mm-hmm. That's what I consider the cold opening because it happens more. The Josh Holloway thing comes back and you see more about what happens. But that was the opening to me. I'll go first since I'm already talking about it.
Go ahead.
For me, I love that plane sequence a lot. It's very funny. But I'm a sucker for that prison sequence.
Right?
I actually decided right a pretty close away that the prison sequence was more fun for me. The idea that you have Tom Cruise in the prison, you don't know what he's doing there. You're like, what's going on?
You don't see
like,
his face for a while.
He's just like throwing a ball, and then you see like the doors start opening. You see Simon Pegg, and like, oh, cool, Simon Pegg's back.
He's like,
and he does this thing with Tucker. Does that thing. He's like, and no. Even before that, the best part of the Tom Cruise, like he looks. He'll go towards like his extraction point, looks back, and it's time he goes, "What are you doing?
What is he doing?"
And he starts going back. What are you doing? And then no, I know what this is. I'm not opening.
So okay, you'll wait. Okay, you'll wait. I'm not opening.
And then Paul Patton goes, he's doing what he's doing as long as he's there when he needs to be. And the whole fight sequence comes down. You have
Sergey.
It's a very comedic thing with Sergey and him. The whole bit is very funny, very action packed. I love it. Now the plane sequence is pretty funny too. With try to open the wrong door, and it's got the great stunt also, which you don't have in Ghost Protocol as far as the opening goes. It's not as big of a stunt, but for me, I honestly felt like the longer jail sequence for me won. I liked Ghost Protocol's opening just a little bit better.
Yep. I'm on board. I'll just say I'm going with Ghost Protocol as well.
Really? Okay.
But
okay, go ahead. Okay.
I love that very first opening.
Oh, I do too.
And that is what I'm basing this on. I am not even considering the jail sequence, and I am picking that moment with Josh Holloway playing Agent Hanaway, and he freaking steals the show for like a few minutes.
Wow.
He looks so capable. He's got like cat-like reflexes.
Yeah.
From the first moments we see him kick ass, you're like, okay, I'm rooting for this guy. He looks cool. We know he's not Ethan Hunt, but he looks so much like him. He looks like someone Ethan will, partner up with or something. He's like, he looks so awesome. And he kicks his ass. He jumps off the building, throws the mattress, shoots the agents midair. You're like, fuck yes, we're going for it. And then Léa Seydoux shows up and kind of shoots him. We're like, oh no, that is such a heartbreaking moment.
Yeah.
And she also she quadruple taps him as well. It's like shoots him, and then he's on her and she just goes again, like into the body. You're like, no, he's done. But he was such an awesome kick-ass intro.
Yeah.
I don't know why I freaking love that it wasn't Tom Cruise that opened this movie. And it worked. It worked for me.
Okay. I mean, I get that. I could reinsert that as the opening but include the Russian jail sequence too.
For sure, yeah. I do love that. Like, that is an insane stunt that Tom Cruise does, like hanging off the airplane. We got to give credit to that.
Oh,
and also, there's the moment where we don't even see Cruise yet. They're just talking. Like, Benji's like, the plane's leaving, blah. And then the music comes on, dun, 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 dun. Then you see Cruise's face is like coming over the mountain. You're like, yeah, he's here. He's going to save the day.
Yeah, I'm coming across. I'm saying Ghost Protocol won for me, but it wasn't an easy decision because they both are very fun, very good openings. So I can't wait to see Mission Impossible 7. Right, to see what the opening is going to be for that. And 8, maybe 2. I don't know.
I'm more afraid than anxious. Like I'm more anxious than excited because dude's gonna. I don't want to say it.
Well, if we're watching the film, probably nothing happened. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's not true either, because then he broke his ankle in the last one.
Yep, he sure did.
That's true.
Like, if he's breaking ankles, I'm okay with it. Just break your ankles. Just survive.
All right, let's break into the next category. We got the better crew. Do you want to do this one? Do you want to start with this one?
Sure. This is I love saying it, but that was the toughest one for me. I do like. Interestingly, I'm basing this off of Simon Pegg's character, and we've got Simon Pegg as the field agent now in Ghost Protocol. Right. And for the first time, we see him start kicking ass. He's getting more capable. Sure, he is messing things up, like in the Kremlin when he's like popping on screen with his big head. I love that sequence.
I do too.
But you can tell that he's really coming on his own. He can handle himself in the field, and also I do love Paula Patton. I know a lot of people give her shit, and like she's not the strongest part of the movie. I think she's exactly the type of actress that you'd cast in a Mission Impossible movie. She doesn't do anything unbelievable. She doesn't steal the show, but she's exactly what's needed for the movie. She's gorgeous. She's badass. She can move. She does everything needed. But if we think about Rogue Nation, we got Rebecca Ferguson. I mean, damn.
I love Rebecca Ferguson.
She's not only gorgeous and has chemistry with Tom Cruise, which is a hard thing to do. She does have chemistry with Tom Cruise. There's something there. Like, I was watching the movie, I'm like, I wonder if they hooked up during the filming of this. I'm like,
that's impressive.
I'm sorry if that's inappropriate, but you could see that there's spark there.
Well, they're both very charismatic. At least that's the thing. I mean, Tom Cruise is usually very asexual. He doesn't have great sexual chemistry with anybody. His love scenes are usually pretty bad, to be honest with you. But I get what you're saying on that. Okay.
And if I talked about Benji and Simon Pegg in Ghost Protocol, Simon Pegg has these awesome badass moments, but in Rogue Nation, he has one of the. I think he has the this is where we get peak Pegg moments. Peak Pegg sounds weird. It's when
that sounds fast. Peak Pegg.
It's the moment after the concert, and there he's with Ethan there, and Ethan's like, pretty much, you're going home. This is I'm not putting you in danger. This is why I need you to leave. And then he's going, it's not your decision to make, Ethan. I'm a field agent. I know the risks. And he goes on to this whole tangent. He's like, and I'm staying. And that's all we're ever going to talk about it. He's like, tears running down his face. And Ethan's going,
okay.
Okay. Sure. So as you probably figured, this was going to Rogue Nation.
Okay.
Yeah. Rebecca Ferguson is the decider. Simon Pegg is great in both of them. Luther is always solid. I can't really pick which is better. He's more in Rogue Nation, right? He's only at the end of Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there we go.
Okay. I'll start and say that at first, my initial quick instinct was going towards Ghost Protocol because I like the more active field agent role of Jeremy Renner. And watching his arc in Ghost Protocol, we're like, who's this guy? And you see, oh, he is a badass. Oh, he does do a lot of cool stuff. Oh. And then you find out Tom Cruise is like that. He has this whole thing where he thought he failed Tom Cruise, Ethan, and Ethan's wife died, and he was like really feeling guilty. And you find out at the end that it was all a scheme to get Cruise into prison, Ethan Hunt into prison in the first place. It was all. It's a great arc. Jeremy Renner had a character. It's a great arc in this film. But then you have Simon Pegg, who's great. Paula Patton, who I'm kind of with, like you said, you like Paula Patton, and she's fine.
I do like
fine. Her. I would say that she's kind of forgettable comparatively. She's got some good moments, but overall, I think the problem is you're comparing her to Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah, and also I'll quickly just interfere. I'm sorry. The moment where they're in India and she's trying to seduce the Mogul, like that is where the movie falls apart for me. That is like not, and it's not Paula Patton's fault, but she's part of the weakest scene in the movie, unfortunately.
Yeah. But also it just seems like you can't compare to Rebecca Ferguson, who we already just went on about. I love Rebecca Ferguson so much, and she's so good. She's such a great actress in every role she's been in that I've seen. I just want her to be in every movie. She's so nailed the role, and her character arc in Rogue Nation is awesome too. You kind of don't know where she's going. Whether you're like, isn't she? But I also like Renner, and I really got to the point where the Renner does actually have that field agent role. Halfway through, when he comes out, that's one of my favorite sequences when Renner and Luther are driving the 4x4, whatever it is, the four-wheeler, and the cars go up, and they look at each other. He's like,
"Hey, yep,
found him." And that's it too. Luther, we have Luther for a full movie, and I missed him during a lot of 4. I'm glad he was at the very end, and he made up for a lot of good things. But same with Simon Pegg, the same thing you said about Simon Pegg. I love both that sequence where he tells Ethan Hunt, I'm here, I'm staying, and everything else, and even the more humorous role to me is when they're discussing the water bombing sequence, the water dive, and when he's trying to hold his breath. The whole sequence between is like,
it'll be fine.
He's got this. That's not even close to being
You can
impossible.
hold your breath for 3 minutes.
And even see Ethan Hunt be like, "What are you?"
Yeah.
That's great. He's the one who's usually pepping everybody else up, and he's like, "I don't know about that." Like, yeah, you got this. Yeah, no problem. I love the whole thing about him. So again, I love Ghost Protocol, but I think to me, it's a better Renner now. Luther's in it, Peg's better. It's got to be Rogue Nation. Ferguson's the tipping point for sure, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go with Rogue Nation as well. So that leads up into number 3.
My favorite category.
Ultimate stunt. Now, I thought about Rogue Nation. I thought there's 2 you could really choose from.
Yeah.
I thought, at least, there's a lot of them you could choose from. There's driving sequences that are fun and everything else. But the 2 ultimate stunts are either the plane or the water sequence, the underwater sequence. Those are the 2 big ones to make. While in Ghost Protocol, the one big one you would draw attention to would be Dubai.
Yeah, the Burj Khalifa scene.
The
Oh
Khalifa
my
scene,
god.
yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, and that's why I'll tell you right off the top. I'm not gonna mince words. I went with Ghost Protocol in Dubai.
Yes, you did.
Because here's why.
Mhm.
For me, the plane sequence is awesome.
I think we're totally on board. I totally know where you're going.
Maybe you don't know, but the underwater sequence, they're both awesome. But they're awesome because Tom Cruise is like doing this stuff for real. That's what's more awesome about it to me. It's like Tom Cruise is literally hanging off the plane. Tom Cruise is literally holding his breath for 6 minutes.
Which he didn't need to do.
Which he didn't need to do.
Right. That is fucking insane. You can edit.
You can edit
You don't need to hold your breath.
And it actually did edit some things, so it ended up being unnecessary even to do this. To hold the breath. But when it comes down to it, that's more about Tom Cruise than it is about the movie. The stunt within the Burj Khalifa, I can't say that word. Burj Khalifa?
Burj Khalifa.
Burj Khalifa building.
It's Burji. Burj Khalifa.
Yeah. That actually to me is more cinematic and more exciting and more in depth because it's actually part of the movie. You really feel invested in the movie to me. And there's so much of it because it's a bigger, longer sequence. You have like the climbing up the wall. And they have the glove like faltering, and like, my heart actually skipped at that. Like, right
when it's red,
it's red. Then he throws it off, and it comes back, and he goes off again. Like little humorous sequences. Then he does the jump out of the thing with the fire hose, runs, and that whole sequence he runs and jumps into the window, and like knocks his head against like the window.
Yeah,
the window gets caught by Jeremy Renner. And then the whole thing even continues because you have the dust storm sequence after that. Like when he's running into the dust storm after that, which I don't even know if you count, but the big one's the Burj Khalifa, obviously. But the whole thing together just adds up to such a big cinematic thrill ride to me. I'm loving the whole thing. I'm excited. My heart's skipping a beat and everything else. And to me, it was more about Ethan Hunt in the movie and what he's trying to do versus Rogue Nation. Great stunts. About Tom Cruise really doing this. If you think about anything else, if it was done where like somebody's hanging off a plane, you've seen that in a million movies. You haven't seen Tom Cruise really doing it, which is what makes it cool. But otherwise, it's kind of like that's a cool sequence. But that's where I got to go Ghost Protocol.
Right, you were almost going where I thought you were gonna go because that's why I got so excited. I have the exact same reasoning is for the Burj Khalifa scene is he's moving, he's jumping, he's doing all these things. I feel like the Rogue Nation plane stunt is insane and it's freaking dangerous. I'm not taking away anything, but he's hanging, he's holding on. He just needs to hold on. He doesn't need to do anything. He just needs to dangle there. Burj Khalifa scene, he has to freaking jump, spin, like dangle, like he's doing insane things. So that's why the plane sequence, while it's it is always like advertised as the big stunt, I do like the Rogue Nation stunt that you didn't even mention. It's the bike chase, the no helmet bike chase that he does in the Atlas Mountains. Now that is what makes me fear for Tom Cruise's life. The plane sequence, I'm like, I can tell he's safely there.
I think Filip wants to come in. So
okay, let him come on.
Finish your statement, then I'll get Filip on over again.
So the bike chase, he's going full speed without a helmet. Like we've seen that before, but that one is like the ante is so high up and they actually did the high-speed chase there. He like the other, like Rebecca Ferguson, Andrew Wallace, they had helmets on. Tom Cruise did the exact same things, no helmet on.
Right.
And you can see there is even a slight moment when they're banking, like turning. You can tell Cruise like raises his knees, like he just brings it back up. He pretty much hits the ground. I'm not sure if that was meant to be in the movie or not. If not, that is even more amazing.
Well, it's also you got to throw in the whole sequence that I learned from Action Movie Anatomy, like where Simon Pegg was with Tom Cruise in the car, and like, all right, who's doing the stunt driving?
Yeah,
Thomas.
Yeah,
that's the best driver we have.
The featurette.
He's the best stunt driver we have.
Yep, that is crazy. Yeah, and also to cap off that moment when Rebecca Ferguson finally comes on the road and Ethan just crashes.
Right.
I love how she gives that look. She gives that Viggo Mortensen Crimson Tide look to Ethan. That like, I'm sorry, I failed you again. I have to do this.
Right. That's a good moment.
So I'm torn here. But no, I'm going with Ghost Protocol Burj Khalifa as well, because we've seen the bike stunts before.
Right.
That scene is, it's more original, and it also ties into the movie better. You said it very well. It works in the movie. It's not just Tom Cruise doing a stunt.
Gotcha. All right, let's do a Filip. So he wanted to come on. He was waving like a madman. I gotta come in. Go ahead.
I was just gonna add, like, I agree with everything you're saying so far, which is
hard to believe.
Yeah. But then Jarvi, you almost said it there at the end. Like, you definitely get the feeling that in Rogue One, the stunt came first, and then they tried to make the story like, how can we have this somewhat fit into the plot? Like, it doesn't really add much. It's just like they knew they wanted Tom Cruise to hang off a plane, and then like, okay, let's just put it in the movie. There you go.
I like that.
And like, it definitely adds to it that he's actually hanging off a plane. But it also, in some like weird way, because they're doing it for real, it almost like it looks real, but it's like he's hanging off a plane. He's going to look weird. Like, you can't control the air, you can't control the winds, he can't control his face. Like, it looks real, but it also looks kind of weird because it's so real.
It's real.
It's too real. It's almost too real.
Exactly. It's almost too real.
I agree with that. I definitely, that's kind of what I was trying to say as well. In a way, it almost takes you out of the movie a little bit because it's like it doesn't look like it's a part of the world. It's cool. It's like, hey, it's cool. It's cool to Tom Cruise stuff. And I wouldn't take it away from it. I'm happy it's in there. I love watching it. But that's why I do like the Dubai one, the Ghost Protocol one. Well,
yeah, that like.
Say again. What
Burj Khalifa.
Burj Khalifa. There you got it.
I did. That's why I was like trying to publish. I stumbled again. I was like, I'm just going to Ghost Protocol. Thanks for calling me on it, and I appreciate that, Travis.
It's like Moulin Rouge. It's like No, that's not how it is. I'm sorry.
No, it's not on it, sir. All right, Filip. Thank you so much again for that point.
Thanks, buddy.
No, we'll see what happens. All right, let's move into the next segment then. The next category, rather. Greater villain. Your turn to start.
Which I like to call the Ghost Protocol Award. I'm sorry, the Rogue Nation Award. Totally messed that up.
You did.
I mean, we talked about it. So Michael Nyqvist, he's fine. He's fine. That's it. He's just insert villain here. I know. I think he's playing a Swede or something. If I'm not correct. If I'm correct. He actually might be Swedish, the actor. So
I don't. Yeah, Filip's saying yes. The Swede is telling us. The Swede, and he would know. So.
And he's an awesome actor, but his villain is very one note, very forgettable. Since the movie is so good, like there's so many great details in Ghost Protocol that you just kind of forget about it. And Leah Seydoux, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. Leah Seydoux.
Leah Seydoux.
Leia. She's the more memorable villain in this, and she looks more menacing and she kicks more ass. Like when Ethan and can't remember the villain's name honestly. When they're facing off in the Cobalt. When they're facing off in the garage, like you don't believe that he could hold on his own against Ethan.
Right.
It doesn't look like it doesn't look capable. It doesn't look trained. It just feels like we got to give them a face off here, so we would, there'll be more stakes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just trying to go. I agree with you. I wish, I like Michael Nyqvist in a lot of
Me too.
A lot of movies. I think he's much better than John Wick as a villain.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wish he had more roles. He seemed like he was kind of almost boring in this one. He just kind of didn't have
exactly.
to do. And when I started this,
sorry.
When I started this category, I almost wish I had said antagonists, because then I could have expanded it to include Leia Seydoux, and even I could actually, technically speaking, include Sidorov, the Russian agent, because he's not. I mean, even though he's a good guy, he's still technically an antagonist for Tom.
Yeah,
Cruise.
he's chasing him.
And whereas Rogue Nation, out the expanding it out, the only thing you expand out to really is maybe Atlee, who's the British agent who's in
right.
But he's just not that great either.
But Solomon Lane, though.
Solomon Lane is good. He's good. He's not
in Rogue Nation. He's fucking fierce. He not fierce, but he almost taps into the almost. I will never know the greatest villain in Mission Impossible is PSH. He sort of taps into a little bit of that PSH stuff, he's more laid back. He's talking, very softly, but he has that sort of deadness in his eyes, this sort of cruelty that gives you chills. Solomon Lane, I mean.
I would never even put him in the same category as PSH.
I'm just saying he borrows some.
I can't even go that far. I can't even go that far. I will say he's better than Michael Nyqvist, though. So since I did not include antagonists, if it's just straight up Nyqvist versus Simon Lane wins. So that's for sure. And I'm not saying Simon Lane is bad. I actually there are some things I do like. His voice, of course, is his whisper voice. Kind of gets to it. It's a very calm voice, very cool, collected. But neither villain really, truly does it for me. But Solomon Lane is definitely the better of the two. So I'll go with Rogue Nation as well.
Yeah. Yep. There we go. So the last category that we have is the better mission. The better mission. Now, how did you approach this one? Did you think of it as a whole, like the entire movie, the plot they have to, make do, or did you just pick one of the mini missions inside the movie?
I went with basically overall. I took out the opening sequences. Okay. The opening sequences are always kind of the cold sequences that are just basically for fun, and I went with what was more intricate, how deep it went, what had more stakes, maybe. And it's funny when I say that, because what has more stakes is probably, honestly, Ghost Protocol, because it's nuclear war. That's the end game. You're going to have nuclear war between Russia and the United States. So how can you get more higher stakes than that? But at the end of the day, I kind of went thinking of Rogue Nation. I'm like, wow, you got Rogue Nation, which has the intricacy of the plot, the intricacy of the mission, and Solomon Lane hiring all these dead agents or whatever from all different places and creating something which is going to be the antithesis of the IMF team, pretty much. It's almost like creating that dark equal organization. And then you have the idea of you have the whole Rebecca Ferguson plotline of you don't know if she's good or bad. You want her to be good. You want her deep down to be a good guy. You want her to be on their side. But there's definitely doubt there the whole time until the very end when you see what she's doing. Ghost Protocol seemed to go more from... It was a little more bit to bit. From I kind of seen Hop more than Rogue Nation did, and Rogue Nation was a little bit smoother. So it's a very close call. I do like. I don't have an answer, to be honest with you, yet. I'm still trying to talk my way through it, because I look back and I do love the idea of the disavowalment of the IMF team protocol, and how. Tom Wilkinson comes in and tells him, I can't, you got to keep going for this, but he dies also. Literally are off the grid and everything else. But then I go back to Rogue Nation and something almost similar happens when Tom Cruise is pretty much disavowed and Simon Pegg has to help him, even though he's disavowed, a man without a country. Then you involve the Prime Minister. Get the Prime Minister of Britain involved. And by the way, I am a big fan of Tom Hollander. I love him and everything he's in.
Yeah.
And he is in this.
He's truly great.
Every movie he's in.
Such great comedic timing. His
Yes.
timing is so on point.
He's like that in every movie. Where he just has this knack for when to speak and when not to speak, and how to kind of like direct things. I gotta go Rogue Nation. I think I gotta go Rogue Nation, but not by a lot. Not by a lot. By skin of my teeth, I'm gonna go Rogue Nation.
I approached this category as I picked the mini missions, the toughest and more the more gripping ones. So I went with the Ghost Protocol, the Burj Khalifa, like the mission, not just the dangling off the roof, but that's pretty much the most of it. And them trying to in the other room, they're sort of like doing the trade or the trade-off, like versus the underwater mission to get the ledger in Rogue Nation. Okay. And what I figured out is in Rogue Nation, Cruz, like Ethan, he completes the mission, but he fails to save himself. In Ghost Protocol, also they have to catch him when he falls off bangs his head, and they sort of have to hold him on to pull him back into the building. Right. But in Rogue Nation, he fails to save himself, and it's Rebecca Ferguson who comes and pretty much saves his life. Yeah, Ethan would be dead in the water, literally. So this is why I'm giving this to Rogue Nation. That mission is insane, and he pretty much dies. If it wasn't for Rebecca Ferguson. I'm sorry, Ilsa Faust. I don't know if I should say the actress or the character name. Go back and forth. I go back. I know. I flip. Yeah.
I've said Tom Cruise versus Ethan Hunt like 17 different times.
I know.
I don't think I've said. I don't think I said Benji. Well, you said Benji. I don't think I said Benji once until right now. I said Simon Pegg the whole time. I think I said Ferguson the whole time. Yeah, I'm bad that way. I guess I'm just bad with character names. I think that's what it is. All right. Well, so you're going to go with Rogue Nation as well.
I'm going with Rogue Nation. Yeah. The fact that he fails to save himself, that's what shows that mission was way too hard, or way harder than the Burj Khalifa scene.
Okay. Well, with that being said, we did not need Filip's guidance. We actually have a winner. It's close. It was close.
Right? It feels like it is.
Winning 6-4.
That is close.
We
got Rogue Nation.
We got Rogue Nation. And I'm okay with that.
Me too.
I love Ghost Protocol, but
I'm okay because it was such a close fight. Yes. For a while, Ghost Protocol was my favorite Mission Impossible movie for a long time.
And I still think Ghost Protocol is very underrated. I do think
it
that
is.
But not. I mean, of the 3 through 6, it's probably the least talked about in many different circles. But I do think that it definitely deserves its due. It definitely deserves its place amongst these 4 great movies. So I'm happy to have talked about it a lot and given it some due here today, even if we did end up going with Rogue Nation as the better. Why are we here? I'm going to actually bring Filip back in. He actually wants to come in anyway. I was going to bring you in anyway. So here we go, Filip. What's your thoughts on this? How do you think that the whole thing shakes out?
Well, I was sitting there. I was just hoping that Jarvi would go for Ghost Protocol, because that would have meant that I would have the knockout vote.
Let's say, what would the knockout blow have been?
It would have been, because we were totally, all of us, in agreement up until that last one. Because I had Ghost Protocol with the prison scene. I like that one better. The Crew was a close call, but ultimately, Luther and Simon Pegg swings it to Rogue Nation for me, and also Rebecca Ferguson, also half Swede.
Yes, she is.
And I
we had you for this. It's all sorts of Swedes all over.
Yeah, perfect. And that's another Swede playing the another bad guy in Rogue Nation too. Sure. I had, like I said, I had the Dubai scene for best stunt. I had Solomon Lane for best villain, so we were all in agreement. But I had Ghost Protocol for best mission.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did.
If Jarvi had gone Ghost Protocol, we would be swinging Ghost Protocol's phrases right now.
Would, yeah. I like you said, I really like the fact that it shuts down, and when Ethan brings them into the small container, and it's these 5 or however many there are, we're what's left of IMF. Wow. It's us. And like also I feel like it should be mentioned. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing because it's pretty clearly the better movie, but James Bond Spectre did come out the same year, a couple of months before Rogue Nation, and it's the same movie.
It is very close to the same movie. Not wrong.
It is the same movie. So like I like maybe it's actually good for Rogue Nation because it is the better, in my opinion.
I agree.
But it's still like I think it takes away a bit from it because like especially if you actually saw both of them in theaters. Like I saw this 2 months ago.
Right.
I'll even do you one better. From 3 to 6, they're all just like every movie he's going rogue from the IMF. In 3, he's going rogue. He's fighting against them. In 4, it's Ghost Protocol. They're the only ones left. In Rogue Nation, pretty much he's disavowed as well. And in number 6, he's playing blame for everything. It's like it's all the same movie.
Yeah,
but it's still kind of it's about the details. It's how they package it. It's how they add. It's weird. It feels like it's all what makes the movie is the fluff, but the fluff is so damn good that you're still on board.
I agree 100%. Man. Well, all right, that's what we have this week, gentlemen. We have Rogue Nation winning. Our snap judgment was correct. But you know what? Let's just see. Where can people find you if they want to find you?
Well, I don't have much to plug. You'll usually just find me in the class action chat, just shouting into the void.
And we're very thankful for that.
I don't have anything else.
Okay. All
right. That's the only thing I have as well. You can find me here weekly with Paul Denuzio on Class Action, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Richard Eric with a K Jarvi.
See,
this sounds kind of like this is all we have. This is all we have, guys. Come on.
I always feel bad like plugging all I end up plugging like for half an hour.
Yeah, show off.
You traitor.
Show off. I'm just like I feel bad doing it, but I'm gonna do it anyway because that's my job.
You're blurry. Are you blurry?
I'm blurry here. I'm blurry. You can find me every week on Class Action on the Action Industries YouTube channel. You can find I also run the Action Industries Patreon, so join that patreon.com/Team Action. Become a general. Hang out with us in the generals chat. It's very fun. I also find me on Call to Action, which is the movie trivia showdown podcast after show. I do Chill to Action, which is the weekly interview show. And this week we have Ken Knapsack coming on. So that should be a fun interview on Monday at 8:15 Pacific. And then also, finally, I did open up PLD Projects, my own YouTube channel. It's been slow going. I will be getting up more products or more content soon. Hoping to finish up my first episode of the Heritance in the not too distant future, and I'll make you love Ed Harris as much as I do, which is damn near impossible. So at least I'll try. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. That wasn't too bad.
That's it.
That's too bad. I could have more. I could throw some more in there if you really want me to, but I feel bad enough.
Man.
I love you guys. That's okay. But anyway, that's where we have our show for the night. Please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're still in the chat, please let us know what else you'd like to see. And we do have the next 2 weeks covered. Obviously, we're going to do Mission Impossible 3 versus Mission Impossible Fallout. And then the week after that, we'll be taking Mission Impossible Rogue Nation and take it on the winner of next week's battle. And we'll go from there. But if we're always looking for more options, more choices, and if some people out there want Fast and the Furious, Ferris, I know that's you. I know some people want, I've talked to someone want Highlander, but Jarvi won't do that. I already tried.
I can do that. It's just I feel like I should give them a rewatch or the first one, whichever. I'm okay with trying.
Okay, all right, we'll see. Maybe we'll go with something like that. Have some other cool direct. I like to do a director one again. I had a lot of fun doing our director one, which is our first one. We did Villeneuve versus Nolan. I'd like to try maybe some other directors, but I'm not sure which ones yet. So we'll find out. But that's it for now, guys. So stay tuned until next week. Same Class Action time, same Class Action channel. And until then, court is adjourned. Are you blurry?
I'm blurry. No, I'm not blurry.